Hi, Obi. Thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it. Today I'd like to talk with everybody about starting spiritual conversations. Spiritual conversations are a great way to build your faith and help other people grow in their faith. And it's one of the hard things for people to do if you don't know how to do it. And what I'm going to talk about today is how you start spiritual conversations with people and how helpful those are. So what I do when I'm starting conversations with people, whether they're a total stranger or somebody I've known a long time, is I ask them a few questions that help them to think about their life, okay? And what I typically do is I just ask the question, did you make any New Year's resolutions? Now that's really great January, February, March, but it's something you can ask all year long because somebody's always doing something with that. And they either say, yes, I did, or no, they didn't. And if they did, you talk about that resolution and you find out if they're still trying to make it. Most of the time, though, they say, no, I didn't make one. Or I made one, but I didn't really do anything with it. What I usually say is, I don't make them either, because the truth is, if it's worth doing, you don't need to wait for January. January comes once a year. So why wait for the next January to do something that's worth doing? And instead, there's even something. What's better than a New Year's resolution? That's a great question to ask people because it makes them think. So I ask, what's better than a New Year's resolution? I started doing that in January. It's the middle of March right now. The first week, I didn't get any great answers. The second week, a guy said, any promise that you make and keep is better than a New Year's resolution. And that got me thinking, and it's true, because people make New Year's resolutions, but they don't keep them. But there's something even better. And that's the question you want to ask people. That's the question you want to get to. The question that's better than a New Year's resolution, what's better than a New Year's resolution? The answer to that question is a leap of faith. A leap of faith is much better than a New Year's resolution because most of the time, a New Year's resolution deals with something on the outside, something in your appearance. You want to go to the gym, you want to change the way you look. A leap of faith changes who you are from the inside out, because a leap of faith is about something good that maybe you've never done it before, or maybe you haven't done it in a while and you're not sure you still can, so it's a little bit scary. But it's something good, and it's something that's going to grow your relationship with God. That's what makes it a leap of faith and not a leap of sight. It's going to grow your relationship with God. So if you're trying to take a jump physically, if you're trying to take a leap and you're just standing still, how far do you go? Not very far, right? But if you've got a running start in the right direction and then you jump, you go a lot farther and you're a lot happier with where you wind up physically. The same thing is true with a leap of faith. If you try to take a leap of faith, if you try to change something in your life and you're trying to do it all by yourself, it's like trying to jump physically once you're standing still. You're not going to change very much, and you're not going to be very happy with who you become. If you've got somebody in your life helping you, when you take that leap, you're going to change more, and you're going to be more satisfied with who you become, not where you wind up. So one of the most important questions you can ask yourself and answer is, what's your next leap of faith? And I really do want to know the answer to your question, because I'm really good at helping people get their spiritual running start. So when they take their leap of faith, they go further spiritually, they change more, they grow more, they're more satisfied with who they become, and God is more encouraged by the changes in their lives, the changes in your life. You see, if you're going to avoid regrets, if you're going to live life to the full, if you're going to have the kind of spiritual impact you could have, you need to ask yourself the important questions. And you need to answer those questions honestly. And then you need to do something with those answers. So many of us fall into the trap of good intentions. We know that there's something we ought to do, and so we figure out what that is, and we just settle for answering the question. We don't really do anything with it. That's like going to the doctor and getting a prescription and filling the prescription and leaving it in the bottle. See, it doesn't really help you until you take it out of the bottle, until you apply it to your life. And the same thing is true with a leap of faith. When you know what it is you need to do, get some help and start working on it and pray about it. And God's really, really going to bless it. And that's how you're going to have a life full of impact and excitement and faith that grows and faith that works. You know, the Apostle Paul was telling the church in Corinth how to grow. And he said, you know, one person plants and another person waters, but God makes it grow. And so when you start having spiritual conversations with people, if they're strangers or if they're people you know well, if you ask them about their leap of faith, if you really care about them enough to find out about those things, that'll help them grow spiritually. That'll help you grow spiritually. And God will be glorified. That's all for today. I hope you're having an excellent day.